I'm gonna be talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. And, most of the stuff I want to talk about is very spoiler heavy. If you haven't played this game and you want to play it, I recommend you not watch this video, because this video will spoil major plot story themes. And even if you haven't played it and you don't have plans for it, consider the following. Red Dead Redemption 2 is very fucking good, and the story is especially good, and you might not want to be spoiled on it. If you don't care about spoilers, or you've already played the game, then chances are you might know what I'm going to talk about, or not, who knows, just fucking get into it. Look, I went into Red Dead Redemption 2 with very low expectations. Look, don't get me wrong, Rockstar can make a fucking game. I don't think there's a single Rockstar game that I've played that I didn't like. Except one. I'm sorry to the 15 Manhunt fans out there that really like Manhunt, but I don't like Manhunt. At least not the first one. I haven't played the second one. The second one might be good. I want to play the Wii version of the second one for sure, because that just sounds like it would be funny as shit. But yeah, not a big fan of Manhunt. Before we could talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, we need to talk about GTA 5. Now, don't get me wrong, GTA 5 is a wonderful masterpiece. One of the best games out there that Rockstar has ever made. But to be fair, Rockstar usually does get better with each new game they make. But GTA 5 had a real being fucking slow problem. There's a lot of missions in GTA 5 that are just pointless fucking filler. I came here to shoot cars and steal shit. I don't want to be doing fucking yoga. And I really don't fucking like Michael's family. Anytime I have the beer with any of Michael's family members, I fucking despise it, because they are the worst characters I've ever seen in a Rockstar game. And it's just that they're written to be annoying assholes, and that job works out too well. They aren't even annoying assholes in like a fun way. And to be fair, I don't like Trevor that much either. Sure, he could be a really fun character, but sometimes he's just overly cruel, and I don't like that much. Maybe, I know he's supposed to be an overly cruel, sadistic character, but sometimes it's a bit too much, and I don't laugh. I just feel sorry for anyone he's being a major dick to. But don't get me wrong, I fucking love Stephen Ugg. My god, he's one sexy son of a bitch. You know, I don't even fucking like The Walking Dead, but when he was in The Walking Dead, my eyes were glued on that shit. Look, I like GTA 5. It's a really good game, but it has a lot of pointless gimmicks and a bunch of bad storylines and plots that I really just don't fucking care for. And it really just... GTA 5 is both a good way to show off the best of Rockstar, and also the worst of Rockstar. Big, beautiful map in GTA 5, I tell ya. Barely jack shit to fucking do in it, though. And sure, I could go around the map fucking up shit and going on a major rampage, but I've never found that fun. I've mostly found that pointless. Like, what's the point of going on a major rampage? There's no goal. You know, shockingly enough, I mostly play GTA 5 for the story. And don't get me wrong, GTA 5 doesn't have a bad story, but, you know, it's kind of lackluster in some areas, kind of slow in some areas, and honestly, it just dampens the whole experience. And I would like to clarify, as bad as GTA 5 can be sometimes, it's not nearly as bad as the side game that comes along with it. Now, you might be saying, but Maddie, GTA 5 is GTA Online. GTA Online is just a multiplayer mode for GTA 5, and honestly, I don't like thinking like that, because GTA Online feels like an entirely different game. A much worse game, where GTA 5 has clear soul and passion behind it. GTA Online just feels soulless. All the missions in GTA Online feel so repetitive and soulless. It's just like the same shit over and over again. And that's it. And then you have to wait for fucking ever just to get on a match, just to have fun, because the GTA 5 servers are fucking cow shit. And one of the most promising yet horrible things in GTA Online is the heist missions. First of all, you have to get a bunch load of money to even start your own heist. And then you gotta fucking hope that you can get enough people to, join you on your GTA Online heist missions. And not fucking leave like dicks. GTA Online heist missions can probably be really fun, but with all the problems, all the waiting, all the grinding to get to it, by the end of the day, it's just not fucking worth it, man. It's just not fun at all. And thanks to GTA Online and its abundance of way too many fucking updates, we never got story DLC for GTA 5 itself, which is disappointing since I really wanted GTA story DLC, single player story DLC. Oh, if you want any of the cool shit like cool cars or cool upgrades and clothing, you're gonna have to get shark cards and shit. And that's what they want you to do. They want you to spend more fucking money on shark cards. And it's just GTA Online is obviously made just to get money. There's no solar passion in it. I really fucking doubt if anyone went to work that day when working on GTA Online and went like, yeah, I love GTA Online. This is my passion project. GTA 5 was released back in 2013. 2013. Do y'all feel old yet? Rockstar's next game would be Red Dead Redemption 2, and it took them over 10 years to make a new fucking game. Jesus Christ. They were so busy milking the fuck out of Grand Theft Auto Online for years and years that they barely had time to make an actual new game. Shit like this is why I don't bend down and worship Rockstar as my lord and savior, because at the end of the day, they are a fucking company and they only care about making fucking money. And sure, at one time I could say they were mostly passion-filled with making their games, but as of late, and before, I played Red Dead Redemption 2, I just had overall negative thoughts about them. And let's address the elephant in the room. 100-hour work weeks are fucking nuts. I fucking hate crunch culture, and honestly, I would have been fine and happy with this game releasing 2 years from now if that meant the employees wouldn't have been worked to death. Hell, I bet they wouldn't have to delay the game much longer if they just got more people to work on it. They have the fucking money to do it. They made tons of fucking money on GTA 5. Jesus Christ, like so much fucking money on GTA 5. So, with all my prior experience looking at Rockstar and the company became, I really had no hope of Red Dead Redemption 2 being a good game, let alone a great game. But to my shock and to my bewilderment, not only is Red Dead Redemption 2 a good fucking game, it's Rockstar's best fucking game. All the characters in Red Dead Redemption 2 were written very fucking well. Dutch Vanderlyn starts off as a likable character, but then he ends up going down a inward spiral, and it's so well written seeing him go down this. It's believable and doesn't come off as off-putting that he soon turns into a monster, but not a, like an outright bad guy either. Like, he's obviously going through some deep shit that maybe he's confused, maybe he doesn't know what's going on. The stress definitely got to him, and it shows because by the end of the story, you can't really tell if he was trying to be a bad guy or he just lost control of everything. Micah is a prime example of an abusive and emotionally manipulative son of a bitch. He takes advantage of the fact that Dutch loves loyalty and uses that to turn things into his way, even fucking getting everyone almost fucking killed in the process, all for his greed. Oh, and who could forget the Irish lad? Sean. I fucking love Sean. He's my boy, He's my fucking boy. Oh no, my boy! And probably the best written character in the whole game is Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan starts off as kind of bland. I wasn't liking him at first, but as time goes on, you grow with him. He turns out to be a good guy, kind of. Now, notice I was playing on, the good boy role. I tried to get my good boy points up. I didn't go on my way to do bad things, so I got the good ending. Arthur Morgan is a character that's constantly morally conflicted about everything. He doesn't know if he's doing anything right, or he definitely doesn't know if he's going on the right path. Things are confusing for him constantly. He starts off idolizing Dutch and praises him as a great man, but Arthur Morgan sadly has to confront the fact that by the end of the game, he's not a good person. Of course, even by the end, he still loves Dutch because Dutch is like a father figure to Arthur Morgan. And if you ever seen your father figure go downhill, then you probably know how dramatic this can be. Arthur Morgan deals with the concept that he wants to do the best for Dutch. He wants Dutch to be better. But at the end of the day, he can't. Dutch is just going down a path that he can't get off. But probably the most shocking thing about the whole game is when Arthur Morgan gets sick. When Arthur Morgan gets really sick, your abilities in-game are dampered. Arthur Morgan solely has to deal with the fact that he's going to die, and before he dies, he tries to do his best by everyone he loves, especially to the person he's pretty much a brother to, John Marston. Arthur Morgan takes his last moments in life to make sure that John Marston lives a happy and fulfilling life with his family. Of course, he tries to save Dutch, but by then, Dutch is too far gone. But probably one of the best moments in this game that just rings out is just oh my god, so fucking good, man. Probably the best moment in this game is Arthur Morgan's death. Well, it's beautiful unless you get enough bad boy points and decide to not help you, John Marston. So yeah, don't do that. This is the first time I've ever felt really, really close to crying over a character's death. Well, at least in a Rockstar game. I was going to mention another time where I actually genuinely cried, but that would be spoilers for a whole different game, and I'd rather not spoil that one. Arthur Morgan's death, it's a beautiful moment in a sea of tragedy. Sure, Arthur Morgan may die, but he dies with the fact of knowing that he saved John Marston's life, a person that's pretty much a brother to him. Arthur Morgan was a criminal, but in his final moments, he was a hero. Ho ho ho, but let's not forget gameplay. Gunplay is so satisfying. The sounds of the guns and the impact they make is satisfying, even with the weaker guns. Horse riding is fun, if a bit fucking hard to do at first, due to a couple of things not being so clear, but I'm surprised that I got emotionally attached to my fucking horse. And, shockingly enough, there's a lot to do in this game. Sure, there isn't too much. I do wish there was more to do in this game, but it's better than GTA 5 ever was with its side content. You could go hunting, you could go fishing, you could go camping, you could fucking go do bounty missions, go hunt after bounties, and that's fun as shit. And shockingly enough, I love the survival elements. Sure, the weather elements, like whether it's hot or cold or underdone and underdeveloped, and never really affected me too much. But the whole having to eat to maintain certain attributes is really interesting. Like, for example, if you don't eat enough, eventually your aiming will get worse. And I thought that was pretty neat. I sometimes found myself having to go hunting to prepare for missions so I'd have enough food. And the fact that snake oil is not only in this game, but is a rather important item to use, it's fucking hilarious and I love it. I also love that things like, fucking cigarettes, tobacco, and alcohol are also somewhat useful items. And although they can be useful, they also have their disadvantages, like they can go down on certain stats. And did I mention that Arthur Morgan can wear a bunch of cool clothing? And you can fancy him up any way you like. Sure, the system could use more clothing, it isn't perfect, but a Rockstar game never is, and I did like the clothing in this game. If there's one major problem with the clothing system, is that there's a great lack of cowboy hats. I want a goofy ass, fucking big ass cowboy hat. No, not too overly large and goofy, but just goofy enough where it's fun. And hey, shockingly enough, the melee combat is good. I know, right? I didn't expect the combat to be good at all, but it's the best out of any Rockstar game. Sure, like anything in this game, it still kinda has problems. You know, it's not... The main problem with the fighting is it really needs like a dodge button. You know how like in Spider-Man and, you know, Arkham games, there's a little thing telling you gotta dodge? I really wish this game had that. Sure, it'd be ripping off a game like that, but to be fair, it wouldn't be a bad thing. If you're gonna rip off anything, rip off the stuff that's really good. And I'll be damned, they made fishing in a video game fun. Most of the time, when fishing is in a video game, it's very similar to real fishing, but a little bit faster. Fishing is really boring because there's a lot of waiting, and it doesn't mean you're gonna catch anything good. In this game, sure, you could argue that it has the same problems as the previous ones, but there's something about it that makes it worthwhile and feel okay. Probably the ability to, you know, use the things you catch and eat them. And speaking of fishing, hunting was also fun. Not only would it get you much needed food, but it's also kind of fun to skin animals, put them on your horse. Sure, I wish there was a way to make it where you could carry more dead animals. And I think if you got like a stagecoach or something, like an empty one, you could put more animals in there and you just go hunting to your heart's content. I never made sure of that. And maybe when I play the game again in the future, which I hopefully will, I'll check up on that. Now, let's hold on. I'm sucking this company's dick right now. Well, not really the company, the developers did the work, praise on them, but in a sense, I'm sucking this company's dick. So, you know, I gotta say, if I'm gonna suck its dick, I gotta say, you know, you got a nice dick, but, you know, it's a little small. The honor system is a bit fucking dumb. I can accidentally kill like a civilian, and then, oh, there goes my honor system, goes down a bit. But I could just, you know, do another good thing that balances it out. And honestly, I know the honor system does somewhat affect the story, but if I'm gonna be frank, they didn't really explain it well. You know how most games go either way, go like, hey, did you know your actions have consequences in this game? This game's like, there's an honor system. Oh, yeah, it might change stuff. Like, when I was doing research for this game a while back, I found out there's this one scene that's completely different if you're a bad guy. Like, normally you see off this preacher dude, but when I looked up the clip when I found the clip online, they were sending off like this priest. I was like, no, not priest, a fucking nun. I was like, I never met that bitch. Who the fuck is her? What the fuck is she doing? And like I stated earlier, if you get enough bad boy points, you get an ending that's less good. So if you're going to play this game, and well, shit, if you're at this part, I hope you played the game because it's really fucking good. But if you haven't, you know, try to go good boy points because then you get the better ending. Upgrading the camp is kind of useless, aside from the fast travel, and I didn't really use that either. I only used the fast travel once, and that was right when I'm getting towards the end of the game, and I really wanted to end the game, not because it was getting boring and repetitive, but because I wanted to see the ending, so I could finish it and make this video. Even then, if I had to be honest, unlucky fast travel, pretty cool, but it's still kind of ass how you gotta fast travel, you gotta pick a town, and you know, it just is like pinpointing where that town is on the map. So I can see you kind of making mistakes sometimes, but I never made that mistake. I was careful enough, so I guess it's not too much of a problem. Chapter 5 is really fucking slow. It's probably the slowest point in the game. It's not as slow as Rockstar games usually are when they get slow. I'll admit, there was fun to be had in Chapter 5. and overall it didn't ruin the enjoyment mostly. But not being able to ride a horse or go hunting and cooking things kinda dampened the experience by quite a bit. And to be perfectly honest, I don't like the epilogue. You know how I mentioned that Arthur dies? Well, that's where the game should have ended. That a perfect, beautiful note like that. But you know, then you get the epilogue, which is like a quarter, like hat, like another, it's weird because it kind of feels like it's a whole nother game in a way. It starts off slow and tedious, which was my fear for the game in general, but the actual game itself didn't start off slow and tedious, but this part surely did. And of course you do later get on to go do some fun missions, and you know, diving deep into Uncle's character and Sadie Adler's characters was very much worth it, and getting revenge on Micah was very fun, but the epilogue was overall kinda slowish. And I really wish they gave me a horse that was actually on par with the horse that Arthur Morgan had before he died. Like, seriously, the new horse you get is shit. Like, I know the last one's dead, but at least give me, like, a powerful one like the last one. And, look, I love John Marston's and Abigail's relationship, but Rockstar, I swear to fucking God, I'm kinda sick of seeing the, oh, they're married, but they don't love each other that much trope. Like, it wasn't good in GTA 5 when you did it, and it wasn't too good here. Sure, it's a bit better here because there is actual love in the relationship, and you do actually get to be shown that there is love in this relationship, and it does end on a nice little bow. But, oh my God, I am kinda sick of seeing the nagging relationship trope. Like, I'm just so sick of fucking seeing it because it feels like it's in every fucking thing. And look, this is gonna sound like a bit of a joke to you, but I honestly wanted to see more gay cowboys. The amount of men in this game, and not a single one of them is a gay cowboy, god damn it, I want some Brokeback Mountain bullshit. I also really wish that the game would have told me that after a while, certain side missions will go away. I did plan on doing them after, like, you know, just before, like, the final mission, but I ended up finding out that side missions will go away at certain points, so I decided just fuck it, I'm not gonna do the side mission, fuck them. Maybe if I ever play this game again, I'll try to do the side missions. But seriously, Rockstar, next time you're gonna yank away side missions, tell me. And maybe some harder difficulty modes would have been nice, because honestly, this game was kinda fucking easy. Sure, there might have been, but that was another thing they didn't really explain too well. If there was harder difficulty modes in this, then yeah, they should have said something about that. Also, for all the detail they were boasting and how realistic this game could be, you know, it kinda weird when things like food are really unrealistic and shit. Like, you know, what's with Rockstar and making it where when characters eat food, the food doesn't look real? Like, maybe in GTA 5 that's a bit excusable because that's a PS3 game, but come on now, Rockstar, give me better eating food physics. Also, bit of a tip for video game companies, and especially the people who made this and The Last of Us 2, don't boost it, you know, don't boost the realism is a big, huge factor, because that's really just gonna make me, you know, notice the points where it's not being realistic or where it doesn't look fucking good. Just, you know, maybe don't focus on realism that much and focus on the gameplay, on how fun the fucking gameplay's gonna be. And yes, I'll be 100% honest, you cannot factor in glitches. But that's not what I'm talking about. Like, the food eating shit in Red Dead Redemption 2, it just bugs me. It fucking bugs me. But aside from all the problems Red Dead Redemption 2 has, this is really Rockstar's magnum opus. There's so much love and passion in it, and the story's just so well done, and it's just a good overall game. Sure, I haven't tried the online mode, which is probably just like GTA Online, so maybe there's not a reason to try it. Maybe I'll try it in the future, and if I do it, and if I like it or hate it, I'll fucking do a video on it. Who the fuck cares? And like I said at the beginning, I had very low expectations for this game, and they were all blown out of the water. The realism stuff didn't really bug me too much. You know, the fucking survival elements, I thought they were gonna be a chore, but they ended up being fine enough. And, you know, I thought there was going to be, like, a lot of slow moments like GTA 5 had, but those were rare, and even when they were there, they were suited to the story and weren't, you know, fucking awful. And let me get this out of the way. Just because it's a very good game, their best, doesn't fucking justify all the crunch. I would have, like I said earlier, I would have liked it if this game came out like this year or next year or even longer if it meant these employees didn't have to be crunched. And even then, with all the money Rockstar had, they could have gotten more employees to work on the game. I really gotta give it to the developers of this game. Most of the time when crunch happens and you're in that situation, it's understandable if you don't do your best and you don't really, you know, work as hard to make a good game. But obviously, despite the crunch, they still did their best, which only makes the crunch more sad because, you know, they did a good job, they should have had more help, and they still had passion in it, but that passion probably didn't have a good impact on their lives. It's very hard to praise a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 when the founding of it was based on crunch. Sure, we got a good game, very impressive indeed, but at what cost? The cost of the, you know, mental health of the employees, you know, those times they could have spent with their family instead of working 100 hours a week shifts. I really hope in the future Rockstar doesn't make its employees go under crunch to fucking ship out a game, because that shit's just not fucking fair, man. That shit's just fucking awful. But at the end of the day, despite it all, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a surprisingly good game, and I hope the company can do better in the future and fix some of the flaws that were in this game and fix the flaws that are definitely in their company. If you want to support me and my content, then you should go on Patreon and become a patron. I also have a Discord group where you can talk with me and other fans. You can also follow me on Twitter. Ko-Fi is also available if you want to make quick and easy one-time donations. Riddle Lightning is also the creator of the Deviant Crow OC, so go follow him and possibly get a commission. I also have a Tumblr and an Instagram, but note, I don't use them much. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe!